Since the anime of ReZero is coming to a close, I decided to compile a quick 10 facts of things that you may have missed from the anime. Everyone always covers the characters' ages. As we know, Subaru is 17 years old, and we also learn that Felt is 14. Keep in mind, she doesn't actually know her real age, so that's the reason why there's a question mark by her name. As for the other royal candidates, Anastasia is 22, Krush is 20, Priscilla is 19, and Amelia is 107. So it's interesting to see how old these characters are compared to Subaru and also Felt, because she's much younger than the other 4 royal candidates. Do you know the similarity between Al, the Knight of Priscilla, Beetlejuice, the Sin Archbishop of Sloth, and Natsuki Subaru? The similarity between all 3 is the reference to their names. All of their names reference stars or a cluster of stars. Al is short for Aldebaran, and that references a star in the zodiac constellation of Taurus. Betelgeuse references the second brightest star in the constellation of Orion. Subaru references 6 stars in the Taurus constellation named Pleiades. What's also interesting is that Subaru and Aldebaran both reference stars or multiple stars in the Taurus constellation. So why is that? As we covered, Al, the Knight of Priscilla, is also from Japan. We learned this in the 3rd arc of the series, where Aldebaran tells Subaru that he arrived in the fantasy world 18 years prior to Subaru. So this is just conjecture, but that could also be the reference between Aldebaran's name and Subaru's name, as they're both in the Taurus constellation, which will make sense because they're both from Japan. Did you know that in episode 11 of the anime, during a flashback, we see a blonde-haired, green-eyed girl? Nothing is really said about this girl, but it turns out that she's actually a prominent character which is set to appear in Arc 4 of the anime. Her name is Frederica. As we know, Al is a very interesting character, and many comparisons are made of him compared to Solaire from Dark Souls. So he's a pretty likable guy. But did you know that Al doesn't like Ram? Ram, one of the maids which work for Roswell, and Al have some mysterious past together. And Al absolutely hates Ram and wishes that she would be dead. The reason for this is not known, but there is some form of conflict between them. In the anime, divine protections are often brought up. For example, when Felt is fighting Elsa, Elsa mentions that Felt has a divine protection of the wind. But we're never really told more about them. Like, what are the chances of people having them? Here's an extract from the Wikia, which in fact tells you the chances and probabilities of having your divine protections. So for a character like Reinhard, who has multiple divine protections, if there were 10 million people on the planet, only one person would then have multiple divine protections, such as, again, Reinhard. Whereas a character like Otto, who has a useless divine protection, 1 in 100 people would then have a useless divine protection, like Otto. As we know, in a fantasy type anime, characters can use magic, such as Amelia, who can use water magic, and Subaru, who can use yin magic or shadow magic. But did you know there's only 2 characters which can use all 6 types of magic. The 6 types of magic are as follows: water, fire, wind, earth, yin, and yang. And the only 2 characters which can use all 6 are Roswell and Julius. I'm sure most die-hard fans already know this, but in episode 18 where Rem and Subaru confront each other, it's essentially the turning point of the anime. But there is a what-if scenario if Rem and Subaru did in fact run away. It turns out they live a very beautiful life together and have 2 children. I'll leave a link of the story in the description, but keep in mind that the story is not canon. Even though it could happen, is non-canon, so keep that in mind. But it is a nice story where the best girl Rem does actually win. As we know, Reinhard is pretty much the most perfect person in ReZero. We learn in the 3rd arc that him and Wilhelm have the same surname. Many people believe that they are father and son, but in reality they're actually grandson and grandfather. To further bolster the link between Reinhard and Wilhelm and Theresia, despite having the same surnames, they also have the same hair color in regards to Theresia and Reinhard, as well as the same eye color to further bolster this fact. Overall, the relationship between Reinhard and Wilhelm is fragile, and the reason for that will be seen in Arc 5 of the anime. On to the final fact of the video. As we know, Rem is best girl, and is most likely the best character in the whole series of ReZero, and that means that Emilia sucks and Rem, as I stated before, is best girl, and that's the final fact of this video. As you know, the series of ReZero is actually going to be ending today, so I'll most likely be making more videos on things you missed in Arc 2 and things you missed in Arc 3. So if you want to get that extra knowledge, then don't hesitate to like and subscribe for more content of ReZero.